Here is the world news at 5. First, the top stories. President Buhari rejects the amended 2010 Electoral Act bill. Police search for man who hacks two primary school pupils to death in Ogun State. Amusu Ogun Assembly meets over delayed revenue harmonization bill. Governor advocates modified power devolutions. Trump sacks U.S. Secretary of State, replaces him with CIA director. And 6 children died in capsized boat in Mozambique. Good evening, I am Kunle. Alaye bringing you the news in detail shortly. President Muhammadu Buhari has rejected the amended Electoral Act 2010 sent to him by the National Assembly for his assent. Buhari rejects the bill for changing the sequence of the 2019 polls and the National Assembly legislation on council polls. He communicates his 3-point objections to the amended bill in a letter written to the National Assembly, read by the Senate President Bukola Saraki during the plenary. The first objection is the amendment of the sequence of the 2019 polls, which the President believes may violate the autonomy of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to conduct the polls. Another objection of Buhari is the amendment of Section 138 of the Principal Act, which, according to him, has limited the right of candidates to challenge poll results. Buhari also faults the amendment of Section 152 subsection 325 of the Principal Act, which he believes will likely raise constitutional issues on the competence of the National Assembly to legislate on the local government polls. Police in Ogun State have launched a manhunt for a man who hacked 2 pupils of a primary school to death in Ogun Waterside local government area. The incident occurred at St. John Anglican Primary School, Agodo, when pupils were playing in the school's field during a break. The man, suspected to be mentally sick, emerged from the nearby bush, hacked 2 of the pupils, Mubarak Kaleshowo and Sunday Bitui, to death and made good his escape. Both pupils are 4-year-old and were in the kindergarten class. Spokesman of the State Police Command, Abimbola Oyeyemi, says a police team from the Abigi Police Division are on the rail of the man to effect his arrest. Oyeyemi dismisses claim of people in the town that the fleeing suspect is mentally sick, saying that only medical examination after his arrest will determine if he is sane or not. Governor Ibikunle Amosu of Ogun State has asked the State House of Assembly to fast-track its consideration of the Revenue Harmonization Bill before it. The governor made the call at a closed-door meeting with members of the House on Monday at the governor's office, Okimoso, Abeokuta. All the 26 members of the Assembly, including the Speaker, Suraj Adekunle, attended the meeting, which lasted for more than 1 hour. Sources told Rock City FM that the governor was not comfortable over the delay in the passage of the bill, which seeks to harmonize all taxes and revenue being collected by the government agencies in the state. Commerce and Industry Commissioner Otumba Bimbo Ashiru, during the Assembly's assessment of the 2017 budgetary performance, had appealed to the lawmakers to quicken the passage of the bill to boost the state's revenue. The bill, titled Harmonized Revenue and Other Charges Bill, which is an executive bill, was first deliberated upon by the House in the year 2016. The organized private sector in the state, particularly the manufacturing sector, had been complaining over multiple taxes they have been forced to pay by various state and local government agencies. The Joint Admission Matriculation Board says it is not in a hurry to release the results of the ongoing 2018 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). More than 1.6 million candidates are writing the examination, which began nationwide last Friday. Those who had written 2 editions of the examination last Friday and Saturday are still awaiting their results. But spokesman of the examination body, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, speaking on the Rock City FM program, Daybreak Show, says the results were ready immediately after the candidate wrote the examination. Benjamin, however, explained that the results will be released after JAM reviewed the closed-circuit television (CCTV) camera installed at the computer-based test centers to detect candidates who cheated during the examination. The decision, according to him, is to ensure that results of the candidates that will be released are not those who cheated and whose results will be seized. Hope has risen for the full resumption of federal universities as the presidency agreed to pay the disputed earning allowance to the striking non-academic staff of the institutions. Labour and Employment Minister Senator Kunle says the government is shopping for 8 billion naira to meet a part of the demands of the non-academic staff who had been on strike since last December. The fund, according to a communique issued at the end of the negotiations between the Presidency and the Joint Action Committee of the non-academic staff unions in Abuja, is to be sourced within the next 5 weeks. Ngige explained that part of the 8 billion naira will be used to settle members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and University of Ilorin, who were omitted in the payment of the first batch of the hand allowance. On their part, the striking non-academic staff of the federal universities are expected to meet today to consider the offer. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State had advocated the devolution of powers among the 3 tiers of government to reduce political tension generated by the agitation for restructuring of the country. The governor, however, contends that the agitation from the South 3 geopolitical zones is a grand plot against the North. Ganduje, speaking while receiving the report of the Committee on True Federalism set up by Kano State government, suggests that federal government should hand over certain responsibilities to the state government. The state government, according to the governor, are also expected to hand over some of their functions to the local governments. Ganduje, who admits that the 1999 constitution has elements of unitarianism, adding that there should be a balanced federation in terms of responsibility, authorities, and resource management. Up next in the news is you're still listening to the World News at 5 on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you business, foreign, and the sport news. Donald Trump has sacked Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, replacing him with the director of the CIA, Mike Pompeo. Thanking Mr. Tillerson for his service on Twitter, Mr. Trump said the new state secretary would do a fantastic job. Mr. Tillerson, a former chief executive of ExxonMobil, was only appointed to the job just over a year ago. The president also nominated Gina Haspel to become the first woman director of the CIA. Mr. Tillerson was on the official tour of Africa last week when he was apparently caught unawares by Mr. Trump's announcement that he will host talks with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The top US diplomat team said he was feeling unwell on Saturday. Later in the weekend, the State Department said it will cut short his tour by a day. Last autumn, Mr. Trump publicly undercut the former Texas oilman by tweeting that he was wasting his time trying to negotiate with nuclear-armed North Korea. Mr. Tillerson was reported to be astonished at how little Mr. Trump grasped the basics of foreign policy. The New York Times quoted sources as saying Mr. Trump was irritated by Mr. Tillerson's body language during the meetings. 6 children, 5 of them from the same family, have died when a fishing boat overturned close to a Mozambican tourist resort. According to the privately owned television STV, the vessel went under a bad weather on its way to Villanclose from the island of Magarcone in the Indian Ocean. The maritime authorities in the southern Mozambican province of Hiambene said the boat was carrying 20 people at the time. The local maritime authorities blame bad weather for the accident. Accidents are common on Mozambique's rivers, lakes, and sea waters, with most due to bad weather or overloading. Up next in the world news is business news. Presidency has accused some of the electricity generating companies of plotting to disrupt the supply of electricity nationwide. Power, Works and Housing Minister Raji Fashola, who made the accusation at the 25th monthly meeting of the power sector held in Uyo, the Oka Ibom state capital, explained that the planned power disruption has political undertone. The minister says his office had received an intelligence on secret meetings being held by the electricity generating companies to cripple power supply. Fashola recalls that some of them had sued the presidency in court for alleged preferential conditions given to new power sector investor Azura Power, West Africa, and Akogas. The minister was accusing the power generating companies of attempting to blackmail the presidency, says he will not allow them to become a monopoly in the power sector and hold the nation to ransom. Finally, in the world news is sport news. Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr has expressed his preference for Nigerian Professional Football League (NPFL) matches to be played more on grass pitch stadium. Rohr made the call while speaking with newsmen after the NPFL match day 12 fixture between Lagos-based MFM FC and Heartland FC of Owerri at Agege Township Stadium. The coach said while he was impressed with the standard of the league, he believed it will be improved more if games were played on grass as against synthetic pitches. Synthetic pitches, according to Rohr, are hot during the sun and it is not the best for the players. And that was the world news at 5, but just before we go, quick recap of the major stories once again. Buhari rejects the amended 2010 Electoral Act bill. Police search for man who hacked 2 primary school pupils to death in Ogun State. Amusu Ogun Assembly meets over delayed revenue harmonization bill. Governor advocate modified power devolution on the foreign scene. Earlier reported Trump sacks US Secretary of State, replaces him with CIA director. And 6 children died in capsized boat in Mozambique. For more stories and to listen to us live, please do log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you very much for listening. I am Kunle. Alaye. Good evening.